Hi, my name is Julius. In this video, I'd like to answer the recent Part 1 practice questions about weekends, small businesses, and schools. And in my upcoming video, I'll answer the remaining Part 1 recent practice questions. So stay tuned so you won't miss that video. Okay, let's get started. Let's talk about weekends. Do you like weekends? Of course, who doesn't like weekends? I really believe that every one of us loves weekends as we don't need to wake up early to go to work or school. It's the time that we can recharge our batteries and do something that can make us feel good. How I wish every day is a weekend. I love weekends. Weekends are the only days that I can distress myself. So every weekend, I make sure to do the things that I love, such as walking with my dog at a park, mauling, gardening, and cooking new recipes. Today is halfway through the week, and you don't have any idea how excited I am for the weekend to come. What did you do last weekend? Well, it was a lazy weekend for me. I didn't do anything special at all. I just spent time sleeping or lying on my bed since the weather wasn't good. It was raining cats and dogs for the whole weekend. I hope that this coming weekend I'll be able to do something worthwhile. I went shopping last weekend with my friends and unfortunately I splurged about $400 on clothes. It was such an impulse buy. In fact, I had some regrets for spending so much last weekend. So I need to discipline myself not to spend lavishly for the next few months. Do you make plans for your weekends? Not really, because I want it to be spontaneous. I'm not the type of person who always organizes things ahead of time since it's not fun. If I always plan things, I feel like I'm restricted and I feel like a robot that I'm programmed to do what has been prepared. Yes, I do, because I want to make sure that I can do something that can surely help me relieve stress. As I said, Saturday and Sunday are the only days that I can distress myself. So in the middle of the week, I already plan the things that I want to do for the upcoming weekend. And by doing that, I oftentimes make the most of my weekend. Do you think it is important to make the most of your weekend? Well, yes, if possible, because it's not every day that it's the weekend. So people should spend time doing the things that can make them happy or make them forget about their work. And if possible, people should not work on weekends because, these days are intended for relaxation. Of course, and that's the very main reason why I make it a habit to plan the things that I want to do every weekend. Life is short not to make the most of our weekend. We don't have so much time in the world, so let's be wiser in planning our weekend and doing those lovely things that can make us enjoy life. Let's talk about small businesses. Do you prefer buying things from big companies or from small companies? I honestly prefer the former because there's a variety of choices, unlike in small companies wherein choices are limited. However, from time to time, I buy things from small companies because the quality of some products is way better than those sold by big companies. That depends on the kinds of things that I need or want to buy. If I buy things in bulk, of course, I go for big companies or big shops because in most cases they offer a better deal. However, if I buy things that are handmade or something that is special to a particular small shop, without a doubt, I buy things from those types of shops. Do you know many small businesses in the place where you live? Yes, I do, and I'm glad that some of them are thriving despite the effects brought by the pandemic. I think the ones who run those businesses have brilliant minds as they're able to keep their businesses going. Actually, in our neighboring town, some small businesses can't recover from their losses after they shut down during the pandemic. Well, yes, I'm living in a big city and I can see plenty of small businesses in operation, from souvenir shops to pet shops. Well, anything you can think of. Actually, I really wonder how they make their businesses afloat during this difficult time. As you know, inflation is unthinkable. Well, they must have top-notch business strategies. Have you ever worked in small businesses? Well, I don't have an experience working in small businesses as I'm a nurse. All my life, I've been working in a hospital, so I don't have any chance to work in a small business industry. But who knows? I might run my own small business in the future after I retire from my occupation. Yes, I once worked as a sales staff at a family-run convenience store. That was when I didn't know what to do with my life yet. I worked there for less than a year and saved up, so I had money to use for my travel. Although I didn't work there longer, I was able to acquire skills that are needed in life, such as interpersonal relations, accounting, housekeeping, and more. Have you ever thought about starting your own business? Yes, sometime in the past. I wanted to have my own bakery since I'm actually good at baking. However, my desire to run my own business isn't that strong because I love working in the healthcare industry. I enjoy helping my patients recover from their illnesses. But anyway, I'm not closing the door on starting my own business. That has never crossed my mind. I believe I'm not a business-minded person. I don't have any idea about business, and honestly, I can't think of one business model that I might get interested in investing in. Well, anyway, there are some people who simply are not into business, and I think I'm one of them. Let's talk about schools. Did you go to a good school? Yes, I did, and I'm forever grateful to my parents for sending me to one of the best schools in this city. I went to a Montessori school when I was a primary and high school student, and when I was a university student, I studied at one of the best state universities in this country. I think I'm privileged to learn from those great schools. Well, it's such a shame to admit this, but my primary and high school weren't really good. I studied at public schools with very limited facilities. Some school teachers weren't enthusiastic about teaching us, and the environment wasn't healthy since there were a lot of students who lacked discipline. However, when I moved to the city to study at the university, my school was actually one of the most reputable schools, and I was so lucky that I got a scholarship from that school. Did you like your teachers? Yes, I did. Oh, I mean, not all of them. Of course, there were some teachers who were so passionate about teaching, but there were those who weren't. So those types of teachers weren't appealing to me, and I found them incredibly boring. I only liked those teachers who are empathetic, approachable, and who really had a passion for their profession. Well, it's pretty normal to like those types of teachers because they set themselves as a good examples. And I'm very thankful for those teachers because I learned so much, not just in academics, but also about living a purposeful life. What were the differences between your school and other schools? Let me talk about my primary and high school. Since I went to a Montessori school, we were given the freedom to express ourselves freely for the purpose of learning, and at the same time encouraged us to be supportive of our classmates. Of course, our teachers were there to guide us. However, they wanted us to take ownership of our education. That is because they prepared us for the real world outside of the school. And those couldn't be experienced in traditional schools. Well, obviously, as I went to a public school in both primary and high school, the differences include the number of students in one class. There were many of us in the class, therefore, our teachers couldn't focus on addressing each student's learning needs. Aside from that, we didn't have better facilities that would help us learn more effectively. Not to mention, some students were ill-mannered. Was there anything you wanted to change about your school? Nothing. I believe my previous high school is doing pretty well in molding its students to be the best they could be, even after this day. Actually, my nieces and nephews are currently studying in that high school, and I can say that they're well educated and well mannered. I believe the school continues to adhere to its principles and never fails in imparting the values that students need in life. Well, I just hope that the government will provide my previous high school with better facilities that students really need, such as a better library, new sets of new computers, and comfortable chairs and tables. These are what we lacked when I was a high school student. I believe the government can do better in helping public school students learn more conveniently. If you need a coach to help you identify your weaknesses so you can pass your IELTS speaking test, just send me an email. Or if you want to study on your own, but you're so busy to find ideas to each cue card, then send me an email too. I'll send my sample reviewers and see for yourself if you need a full version of my reviewers. My reviewers helped many students pass their IELTS speaking test without me coaching them. Anyway, I also want you to watch my previous video about outer space, music, and jewelry. That video can definitely help you. If you find value in this video, just give me a like or subscribe to the channel. I'll be posting videos related to IELTS speaking test. Till next time, have a lovely day. Bye.